The sapphire necklace glittered in Victoria's hand as she screamed accusations that would shatter my world. I stood frozen in our marble entryway, still in my school uniform, while my stepmother's perfectly manicured finger jabbed the air between us. "I saw you in my bedroom, Gabriella. The necklace was there this morning, and now it's gone. What did you do with it?" My name is Gabriella, and that was the night they erased me from their lives. I was 16, scared and completely blindsided. "I didn't take anything," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I haven't even been in your room." My father emerged from his study, his face already set in that stern disappointment I'd grown to dread. "Victoria says she saw you, Gabriella. Just tell us where it is." "Dad, please, I wouldn't steal anything. You know me." Alea, my stepsister, burst down the stairs. "Mom, stop. Gabriella wouldn't do this. She's telling the truth." "Stay out of this, Alea," Victoria snapped, never taking her eyes off me. "Go to your room." "But Mom, now!" I watched Alea's retreating form, tears streaming down her face. She was only 14, but she was braver than my father had ever been. Victoria's voice turned syrupy sweet, the way it did when she was about to twist the knife. "Rick, darling, this behaviour can't continue. First the missing cash from your wallet last month. Now my mother's necklace." "That wasn't me either," I protested, but Dad held up his hand. "Enough, Gabriella. We've given you chances. You've been different since your mother died, acting out. But this crosses a line." My throat closed up. How dare he bring Mom into this? "Different? You mean inconvenient for your new wife?" Victoria gasped dramatically. "See how she speaks to you. No respect, no remorse." Dad's face hardened. "Pack a bag. Now." The words didn't register at first. "What?" "Pack. A bag." He pointed upstairs. "You're clearly not ready to be part of this family." "Dad, no, please." I grabbed his arm, but he shrugged me off. "You have 30 minutes, then I want you gone." I ran upstairs, shoving clothes into my old soccer duffel bag through tears that wouldn't stop. Through my door I heard Victoria's muffled voice. "It's for the best, darling. She needs help we can't give her." When I came back down, Dad held out $300. "This should get you started. Your Aunt Sarah lives in Seattle and hasn't spoken to us in years," I finished, not taking the money. "You know that." He set the cash on the entry table. "Take it or don't, but you need to leave." Victoria stood behind him, one hand on his shoulder, victory gleaming in her eyes. I shouldered my bag and walked out into the October night, not looking back. 10 years later, I'm standing in my corner office at Lexis & Fern, holding an RSVP card that makes my hands shake. "Ms. Dean," my assistant Henry appears in the doorway. "The gala planning meeting starts in 5. I hold up the card. "They're coming." Henry steps closer, recognition dawning. "Your father and stepmother. They want to meet with a mysterious benefactor from our philanthropic fund." I laugh, but there's no humour in it. "They don't know it's me. Their company is drowning in debt, and they're desperate for a lifeline." "Are you going to tell them?" I smooth my blazer and tuck the RSVP into my desk. "Oh, I'm going to do much more than that. I'm going to show them exactly what the girl they threw away became." Henry's expression is concerned. "Gabriella, don't worry. Everything's perfectly legal." I pick up my tablet, already moving toward the conference room. "They taught me an important lesson that night, Henry. Family isn't about blood or marriage certificates. It's about power. Who has it, who doesn't, and what happens when the balance shifts." I pause at the door, touching the delicate sapphire pendant at my throat. An exact replica of the one Victoria accused me of stealing. And in 10 days, at our anniversary gala, they're going to learn exactly how much power their discarded daughter now has. The first night I slept on a park bench, I woke up to a cop shining his flashlight in my face. "Can't stay here, kid," he said. I nodded, gathered my duffel and started walking. That became my routine for weeks. Keep moving, stay invisible, survive. You really never told anyone about those first months? Tamara asks, arranging files on my conference room table. It could make an incredible PR angle. I shoot her a warning look. We're not using my homeless teenage years as a marketing strategy. Fair enough. She spreads out the gala seating charts. But you should at least tell me. I've known you 5 years and all I know is you went from park benches to Harvard on scholarships. There's nothing to tell. I tap the seating arrangement. Put Victoria and Rick at table 7. I want them to have a clear view of the stage. Henry walks in with 3 coffee cups. The final acquisition papers came through. G&D Ventures now owns 51% of Dean Fine Imports debt. They don't suspect anything, I ask. They think we're just another venture capital firm. He hands me a coffee. But, Gabriella, I found something else. Remember that security footage that disappeared the night you left? My hand freezes halfway to the cup. What about it? Bonnie sent it over. Apparently, Victoria kept a copy. Tamara's eyes widen. The former Dean Imports executive. She's still feeding us intel. Play it, I say. Henry connects his laptop to the wall screen. The footage is grainy but clear enough. There's Victoria in her bedroom, pulling the sapphire necklace from her jewellery box. She glances around, then slides it into her desk drawer. The timestamp shows it was hours before she accused me. That manipulative... Tamara starts. Wait, Henry says. Watch. My father appears in the doorway. They talk, their voices muted by the old recording. Victoria gestures animatedly, points to the jewellery box, then the drawer. Dad nods slowly. He knew, I whisper. He knew before I even came home. There's more, Henry says quietly. Bonnie found irregularities in their books. The company's collapse wasn't just bad management. They've been embezzling for years. I stand up, walking to the window. 10 floors below, Manhattan buzzes with morning traffic. You know what I did after that park bench? I got a job at a 24-hour diner. Slept in the break room when my manager worked nights. She knew I was underage, but didn't ask questions. Gabriella, Tamara starts. I studied during every break. Applied for every scholarship I could find. Worked 3 jobs through college. And when I started this company, I promised myself I'd never be powerless again. Henry steps closer. What do you want to do? I turn back to them, my reflection in the window like a ghost behind me. Everything stays on schedule. The gala's in 10 days. But now we have proof. They could go to jail for the embezzlement, Tamara points out. No, I shake my head. Prison's too easy. I want them to feel what I felt, helpless, abandoned, watching everything they built crumble while everyone they know turns away. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. I know who you are. We need to talk. Alea. Your stepsister. Henry peers at the screen. How did she... Doesn't matter, I type back. Tomorrow, 8 a.m, L&F lobby. Tamara gathers her files. Should we be worried? No. Alea was the only one who tried to defend me that night. But Victoria shut her down hard. I pick up the seating chart again. Make sure she has a seat at table 7 too. She should have a front row view of her parents' downfall. And if she tries to warn them, Henry asks. I think of 14-year-old Alia crying on the stairs as I walked out. She won't. Some betrayals run too deep to forgive. The press release about G&D's takeover is ready, Tamara says. It'll hit the morning of the gala. I nod, touching the sapphire at my throat. Perfect. Let them enjoy their last few days of dignity. They spent 10 years thinking they destroyed me. Now they'll learn that everything they built belongs to the daughter they threw away. Henry and Tamara exchange glances. They've never seen this side of me, the part that survived those park benches, that clawed through poverty and shame to build an empire. Trust me, I tell them, but I'm really talking to my 16-year-old self. This is just the beginning. The gala ballroom sparkles like a winter dream, all crystal and silver and soft blue lights. I adjust my sapphire necklace, the perfect replica of Victoria's stolen heirloom, and watch the security feed on my phone as guests arrive. "They're here," Henry murmurs beside me. Through the camera, I see them. Victoria's hair has gone silver, but she still carries herself like royalty. Dad looks smaller somehow, his shoulders hunched under his rented tuxedo. They pause at the check-in desk, Victoria clutching her invitation like a lifeline. "Ready?" Tamara appears with a champagne flute. The mystery benefactor should make her entrance. I take the glass, my red-soled heels clicking against marble as I descend the grand staircase. Conversations pause, heads turn. I'm not the teenage girl they threw out anymore. "I'm Gabriella Dean, CEO of Lexis & Fern, and this is my kingdom." Victoria spots me first. Her perfectly lined eyes narrow, trying to place my face. Dad is busy scanning the room, probably looking for the investor they're desperate to meet. "Welcome to Lexis & Fern," I say, stopping directly in front of them. "I'm so glad you could make it." Victoria's face drains of colour. Dad turns slowly, his mouth falling open. "Gabriella?" he whispers. "Surprise." I smile, taking a sip of champagne. "It's been, 10 years?" Victoria's hand flies to her throat. You're the CEO, the investor you've been begging to meet, the owner of G&D Ventures." I tilt my head. "Yes to all three." "That's impossible," Dad stammers. "You were homeless, a thief, a disappointment." Each word lands like a slap. Amazing what someone can accomplish when they're not being sabotaged by their own family. Victoria steps forward, her voice honey-sweet. "Darling, we should talk privately. There were misunderstandings." "No," I cut her off. "There were lies, your lies, and now—" "Gabriella!" I freeze at the familiar voice. Alea stands behind them, grown into a striking woman, but with the same kind eyes I remember. "Hello, little sister," I say softly. Victoria whirls around. "Alea, you knew about this." "I just found out." Alea moves past them to hug me. I stiffen for a moment before letting myself return it. She whispers in my ear, "I know it was all a lie. I tried to find you. I need you to hear what really happened." I pull back, studying her face. Before I can respond, a smooth male voice interrupts. "Gabriella Dean, as stunning as ever. Grayson." Of course he'd show up tonight. He reaches for my hand, but I step away. "If you'll excuse me," I tell the group, "I have other guests to greet." "Wait," Dad grabs my arm. "Please, we need to talk about the company, about everything." I extract myself from his grip. "Oh, we will," during my keynote speech. "I think you'll find it illuminating." Henry appears at my elbow. "Ms. Dean, there's a situation that needs your attention." "Of course." I turn back to my former family. "Enjoy the party. Your table is right in front of the stage. I wouldn't want you to miss a moment." I follow Henry to a quiet corner. "What's wrong?" "Alea's been trying to reach you for months. Through back channels, private investigators, everything." He hands me his tablet. "She has proof that Victoria planned the whole thing, but there's more." "More than the security footage?" "Much more." He swipes through documents. Bank transfers, emails, even recordings. Victoria didn't just frame you for theft. She systematically destroyed every college application you submitted, intercepted acceptance letters, all while convincing your father you were spiraling out of control. My hands shake. "Show me." As I read, memories flash through my mind. Missing letters, unanswered emails, schools that suddenly went silent. All this time, I thought I'd just failed. "The keynote starts in an hour," Henry says gently. I straighten my spine, hand him back the tablet. "Good. Add these documents to the presentation. I want everything on those screens." I glance at Victoria and Dad, huddled at their table, looking small and afraid. "They thought they were ending my future that night," I tell Henry. "Instead, they were setting up their own destruction. Karma's funny that way." But as I walk away, Alea's words echo in my head. I need you to hear what really happened. What else could there possibly be to know? Alea finds me in my private office off the ballroom. Her hands twist together, a nervous habit she's had since childhood. You have 15 minutes, I tell her, closing the door. The keynote starts soon. I was 14 when it happened, she begins. But I wasn't just a kid who didn't understand. I saw everything. The security footage already showed. No, she steps closer. You don't know why. Mum didn't just hide that necklace to frame you. She did it because of the will. I freeze. What will? Your mum's. Dad never told you, but she left you controlling interest in the import business. It was supposed to transfer to you when you turned 18. Alea's voice shakes. Mum found the paperwork 3 days before she accused you of theft. The room spins slightly. That's impossible. Dad started that company after Mom died. No, your mum was the original investor. She used her family money to help him build it. Alea pulls out her phone, swipes through files. Here, I found these in Mum's study last month. The documents are old but clear. Incorporation papers, investment records, my mother's signature on everything. And there, in black and white, her will, to my daughter Gabriella, on her 18th birthday. Dad knew. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. Mom convinced him you were too unstable to handle it, that you'd destroy everything they built. Alea's eyes fill with tears. He chose her over you, over Mum's wishes, over everything. A knock at the door makes us both jump. Bonnie, Victoria's former executive, slips inside. Sorry to interrupt, but you need to see these. She hands me a USB drive. Complete records of what they did after you left. They didn't just take your inheritance, they systematically erased your mother from the company's history, rewrote everything in Rick's name. My hands won't stop shaking as I plug the drive into my laptop. Files pop up, altered documents, backdated contracts, years of careful fraud. They're not just corrupt, Bonnie says quietly. They're criminals. Alea touches my arm. That's why I had to find you. They deserve whatever's coming, but you deserve to know the truth. All of it. I stand up, walk to the window. Below, guests mill around the ballroom, champagne flowing, music playing. Victoria and Dad sit at their table, looking up at the stage where their world is about to end. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I ask Alea. Mom sent me to boarding school the next day. By the time I came home, no one knew where you were. She wipes her eyes. I hired investigators, but you'd changed your name, built all this. I only figured it out when I saw the G&D Ventures takeover notices. Another knock. Henry pokes his head in. 5 minutes to keynote. I nod, turn back to Alea and Bonnie. Thank you, both of you, for the truth. What are you going to do? Alea asks. I pick up my speech cards, add the USB drive to my clutch. Exactly what I planned, but now I have everything. Gabriella, Alea starts. They didn't just throw me away, I cut her off. They stole my mother's legacy, erased her like they tried to erase me. I touch the sapphire at my throat. This isn't just about revenge anymore, it's about justice. Bonnie nods grimly. The fraud evidence alone will bury them. No. I straighten my dress. Prison's too easy. I want them to live with what they did, to face everyone who ever trusted them, to watch their reputation, their status, their whole world disappear, just like they did to me. And then? Alea asks softly. Then? I open the office door. Then I take back what Mom wanted me to have. I rebuild it in her name, and I make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of people Victoria and Rick Dean really are. As I walk toward the stage, my heels clicking on marble, I feel lighter somehow. The truth doesn't heal everything, but it sharpens my purpose. This isn't just revenge, it's resurrection. Of my mother's legacy, of her dreams for me, of everything they tried to destroy. I take the stage, adjust the microphone. Victoria and Dad look up at me, and for the first time, I see fear in their eyes. Good. They should be afraid, because I'm not just their discarded daughter anymore. I'm their reckoning. Miss Dean will see you now, Henry announces, leading Victoria and Rick into my private conference room. They look smaller in daylight, less polished than at the gala. Victoria's designer outfit is last season, and Dad's tie is slightly frayed. I keep them waiting another minute, reading emails on my phone. Power moves. Victoria taught me those, ironically. "Thank you for meeting with us," Victoria says, her voice honey-sweet. "We're so grateful for this opportunity." I look up, face carefully blank. "Let's discuss your situation." Dad clears his throat. "We've had some temporary setbacks." "Temporary?" I slide their financial reports across the table. 3 failed supplier contracts, 4 pending lawsuits, and now G&D Ventures owns your debt. That seems rather permanent. Victoria leans forward. With the right investor, we could turn everything around. Our brand still has value. Had value, I correct her, before the embezzlement rumours started. They both stiffen. Dad's face goes pale. "Those allegations are completely false." I pull out more documents, like these altered contracts or these backdated ownership transfers. "Where did you get those?" Victoria whispers. "Does it matter? They exist, just like the security footage from 10 years ago exists." I watch their faces. "The one showing you hiding the sapphire necklace, Victoria. The one proving you framed a 16-year-old girl for theft." Dad stands up so quickly his chair scrapes the floor. "Who are you?" "Sit down." My voice could freeze hell. "You don't get to stand over me anymore." Victoria grabs his arm, pulls him back down. "Please, we can explain. We've lost so much already. Our reputation, our savings." Her voice breaks. "We lost our daughter years ago. It broke Rick. We just want a chance to make things right." I almost laugh. "Make things right? You stole my mother's company, erased her legacy, threw me out with nothing." Recognition dawns in their eyes. Dad makes a choking sound. "Gabriella." "Hello, Dad." I stand slowly. "Surprised to see what your throwaway daughter became." Victoria's perfectly lined lips tremble. We never meant to get caught," I finish, "to face consequences, to have everything taken from you." I touch the sapphire at my throat. "Karma's funny that way. Please." Dad reaches for my hand. I step back. "We can fix this. As a family." "Family?" Now I do laugh. "You chose your new wife over Mom's wishes, over me, over everything that was right." "The will," Victoria breathes. "You know about the will." "I know everything." I press a button on my phone. "Tamara, send the press release." "No, wait." Dad lurches forward. "We'll sign everything over, give you back control. Just don't what? Tell the truth. Isn't that what you always taught me, Dad? Right before you watched your wife frame me for theft?" My phone buzzes. Breaking news alerts start popping up. G&D Ventures announces hostile takeover of Dean Fine Imports. Victoria starts crying. Real tears this time, not the theatrical ones from 10 years ago. "We'll lose everything, like I did." I walk to the door. "The difference is I built something new, something better." I turn back one last time. "You should have remembered one thing. The daughter you threw away. She learned from the best how to destroy someone." "Gabriella, please." Dad's voice breaks. "You're still my daughter." "No." I open the door. "I stopped being your daughter the night you chose lies over love. Henry will show you out. And Dad?" I meet his eyes. "Mum would be ashamed of what you became." They leave, broken and small, Victoria's sobs echoing down the hallway. Henry appears at my side. "The press is already calling. They want statements. Tell them the investor behind G&D Ventures will be revealed at tonight's gala." I straighten my jacket. "And Henry, Make sure security keeps them in their seats for my keynote. I want them to watch their world burn from the front row." "Are you okay?" he asks softly. I touch the sapphire necklace, thinking of my mother, of her dreams for me, of everything they tried to steal. "I'm better than okay," I tell him. "I'm finally free." But as I watch them leave through the security feed, something hollow echoes in my chest. Victory should taste sweeter than this. 5 minutes to keynote, Tamara announces, adjusting my microphone pack. The ballroom's packed. Every financial reporter in New York is out there. I check my reflection in the green room mirror, smoothing non-existent wrinkles from my black designer dress. The sapphire necklace gleams under the lights. "Your speech is loaded on the teleprompter," Henry says, swiping through his tablet. "And the evidence files are ready to display on the main screens." A knock at the door makes us all turn. Grayson stands there, perfect in his tuxedo, wearing that smile that used to make my heart race. "Can we talk?" he asks. "Privately." I nod to my team. They file out, Henry shooting Grayson a warning look. "You look amazing," Grayson says, stepping closer. "I've missed you." "Really? Is that why you're here? Or did Victoria send you?" His smile falters. "You always were too smart for games. She called you, didn't she, after our meeting today?" "She's desperate, Gabriella. They both are." He reaches for my hand. "Maybe there's a way to resolve this without destroying them completely." I pull away. "Like you resolved things when you dated me 2 years ago, before I found out Victoria hired you to spy on my company. That was different. I didn't know you then. Didn't fall for you." "Save it." I check my watch. "You can tell Victoria her last attempt at manipulation failed. Now get out." The door opens again. Alea rushes in, face flushed. "Gabriella, wait. Please don't do this." "Not you too. Listen to me." She grabs my arms. "If you destroy them like this, you become exactly what they accused you of being. Cold, calculating, cruel. They deserve it. Maybe. But you deserve better than becoming them." Her eyes fill with tears. "The sister I knew wouldn't want revenge more than healing. The sister you knew died the night they threw her out." A commotion outside interrupts us. Henry bursts in, holding a USB drive. This was just delivered by courier. No sender name. I take it, plug it into the laptop connected to the room's monitor. A video starts playing, security footage I've never seen before. It's my father's study, the night before I was accused. Victoria stands before his desk, waving papers. "She'll ruin everything we built," Victoria's voice crackles through the speakers. "Once she turns 18 and gets control, she'll want to know where all the money went, how we used her mother's investment." Dad runs his hands through his hair. "There has to be another way. There isn't. Either we discredit her now, make her seem unstable, or we go to prison for fraud when she discovers the truth. She's my daughter. She's evidence of our crimes. Choose, Rick. Her or us." The footage ends. The room is silent except for Alea's quiet sobs. "Where did this come from?" I whisper. "Does it matter?" Grayson asks. "You have what you wanted. Proof they're criminals." "No." I stare at the frozen image of my father's tortured face. "I have proof they were cowards." Tamara pokes her head in. 1 minute to keynote. I stand, smoothing my dress again. "Load everything. The original footage, the documents, this new video. I want it all displayed." "Gabriella," Alia pleads, "think about what you're doing." "I have, for 10 years. I walk to the door, then turn back. They chose their fate the night they chose lies over love. Now they can live with it. But as I climb the steps to the stage, my mother's words echo in my memory. Power without mercy is just another form of cruelty. The spotlight hits me. The crowd falls silent. Victoria and Dad sit at their table, faces upturned, waiting for the axe to fall. I step up to the microphone, my carefully prepared speech glowing on the teleprompter. One word would start their destruction. One word would make 10 years of pain worth it. But looking at them now, I see something I missed before. They're already destroyed. Have been since the night they betrayed not just me, but themselves. I touch the sapphire at my throat and make a decision that will change everything. "Good evening," I say into the microphone, my voice steady despite my racing heart. 10 years ago I slept on a park bench. Tonight I stand before you as CEO of Lexis and Fern, the crowd murmurs. Victoria grips Dad's arm. Many of you know we're here to announce a major acquisition. G&D Ventures, our investment arm, has taken controlling interest in Dean Fine Imports. I pause, letting the whispers ripple through the room. What you don't know is why. Henry appears at the tech booth, ready to start the slideshow of evidence. I give him a subtle hand signal. Wait. "The easy thing would be to destroy them," I continue, looking directly at my father. "To show you the security footage proving they framed a 16-year-old girl for theft. To reveal the fraudulent contracts, the embezzled funds, the erased legacy of my mother, the company's true founder." Gasps echo through the ballroom. Reporters' fingers fly across phones and tablets. But revenge is easy. Mercy, that's harder. I remove the sapphire necklace, holding it up. This is a replica of the necklace I was accused of stealing. The original is still in Victoria's desk drawer where she hid it that night to frame me. Victoria's face crumples. Dad stands up, but security guards step forward, keeping him in place. "I could ruin you," I tell them. "Release every document. Play every video. Watch you leave here in handcuffs." I set the necklace on the podium. "But I won't." Aaliyah, standing at the back, covers her mouth. Tamara and Henry exchange confused looks. "Instead, I'm offering you a choice. The same choice you gave me 10 years ago." I straighten my spine. Option 1, I release everything. You go to prison for fraud. Your reputation dies tonight. The room is silent enough to hear a pin drop. Option 2, you sign the company back to me, its rightful heir. You admit what you did, publicly. Make amends. And then? I take a deep breath. Then we rebuild, together, not as the family we were, but as the people we could become. Dad's shoulders shake with silent sobs. Victoria stares at the table, mascara running. "You have until midnight to decide." I step back from the microphone, then return. "Oh, and Dad, Mum's name goes back on everything. Her legacy doesn't die because of your shame." I walk off stage to absolute silence, then explosive chatter. Reporters surge forward, but security holds them back. In the green room, my team waits. "That wasn't the plan," Henry says quietly. "Plans change." I sink into a chair. Sometimes revenge isn't about destruction. Sometimes it's about forcing people to face themselves. The door opens. Alea rushes in, hugging me fiercely. "Thank you," she whispers. "Don't thank me yet. They might choose prison." "They won't." She pulls back, wiping her eyes. "Mum's already asking for paper to write her statement." Tamara checks her phone. "Social media's exploding. Lexis and Fern is trending. People are calling you everything from a saint to a strategic genius. I'm neither." I stand up, suddenly exhausted. I'm just tired of letting their choices define me. Another knock. A security guard enters. "Ms. Dean, your father's asking to speak with you. Just him." I nod. Dad walks in, looking older than I've ever seen him. "Where's the paperwork?" he asks hoarsely. "You're choosing option 2? I chose wrong once before. Lost everything that mattered." He meets my eyes. "I won't make that mistake again." I pull the contracts from my briefcase, hand them over. He signs without reading them. "Your mother would be proud," he says, voice breaking. "Not of what I did, of who you became despite it." "No," I take the papers back. "She'd be proud I remembered what she always said. True power isn't about destruction. It's about having the strength to choose something better." He nods, tears falling freely now. "Can we Can we talk sometime, really talk? Yes, I touch the empty space where the necklace used to rest. But first, you and Victoria have statements to write. The truth comes out tonight. He turns to leave, stops at the door. Gabriella, I'm sorry for everything. I know. I look down at the signed contracts. That's why I chose mercy. Because someone had to break this cycle of cruelty. After he leaves, I stand alone in the quiet room, feeling lighter than I have in 10 years. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's resurrection of yourself, of truth, of the possibility of something better. The morning headlines scream across every business publication. Dean Fine Imports founders admit decade-old fraud. Heir apparent returns, a story of redemption. Lexis and Fern's CEO shows mercy in corporate takeover. I scroll through them on my tablet while Henry brings coffee to my office. The press won't stop calling, he says. Everyone wants an exclusive. Let them wait. I set the tablet down as Alea walks in, carrying a worn leather briefcase. Found this in Mom's study last night, she says, placing it on my desk. It was Mom's, Victoria's, secret stash. Everything she kept about your mother. Inside, I find photos I've never seen. Mum at the company's first office, pregnant with me. Her business plans written in familiar handwriting. The original incorporation papers with both her and Dad's signatures. There's something else. Alea pulls out an envelope. Your college acceptance letters. All of them. Harvard, Yale, Stanford. They all wanted you. My hands shake as I read them. Full scholarships. Opportunities stolen by Victoria's lies. A knock at the door. Victoria stands there, looking smaller without her designer armour. The statement's done, she says quietly, holding out papers. Everything. The necklace, the fraud, how we erased your mother. It's all there. I take them without reading them. Why did you keep all this? I gesture to the briefcase. Insurance, at first. She wrings her hands. Then, guilt, maybe. I couldn't destroy them even when I destroyed everything else. Mom, Alia warns. No, let her speak, I say. Victoria steps forward. I was afraid. Your mother built something magnificent, and I was just the second wife trying to measure up. When I found her will, discovered you'd inherit everything. She wipes her eyes. I convinced myself I was protecting the company. Really, I was protecting my ego. The intercom buzzes. Ms. Dean, your father's here with the transition team. Send them up. I stand. Victoria, I'm not doing this for you, or even for Dad. I'm doing it because carrying hatred was destroying me more than your lies ever could. She nods. I know. We don't deserve your mercy. No, you don't. But that's not why we give mercy, is it? Dad enters with the lawyers. His eyes fix on Mum's briefcase, recognition flooding his face. Catherine's papers, he whispers. You kept them? Sit down, I tell them all. We have a company to rebuild. Hours later, after contracts are signed and statements finalised, I stand at my office window. The skyline glitters as day fades to dusk. You okay? Alea asks, joining me. I thought revenge would feel like winning, I admit, but this feels better, different. I turn to her. Stay. Help me rebuild, and not for them, for us, for Mum's legacy. She hugs me, and for a moment, I'm that 16-year-old girl again, but stronger now, wiser. My phone buzzes. Grayson's name flashes on the screen. I decline the call. Good choice, Alea grins. I'm done with people who choose lies over love. I pick up Mum's briefcase. Ready to go home? Home? My place, unless you want to stay with them tonight? She grabs her coat. Lead the way, sis. As we leave, I stop at my father's temporary office. He's alone, staring at an old photo of Mom. I loved her, you know, he says without looking up. Never stopped. Show me, I tell him. Not with words, with actions. Help me make her proud. He nods, and for the first time in 10 years, I see my father instead of my betrayer. Outside, the city hums with life. Alea loops her arm through mine as we walk to my waiting car. "What now?" she asks. I touch the empty space where the sapphire necklace used to rest. I don't need it anymore. Don't need that weight of the past. Now we build something new, I tell her. Something better than revenge. Because that's what Mom would have wanted. Not destruction, but creation. Not vengeance, but justice. Not just success, but legacy. And looking at the stars emerging above the city lights, I finally understand. Sometimes the greatest power isn't in what we destroy, but in what we choose to build from the ashes of what was lost.